The boy sat on the command throne like it was a playground chair. His legs swung a little, not quite reaching the floor. His hands were too small for the controls, his voice high and soft, not yet hardened by the world. But when he spoke, the fleet obeyed, and when he gave the order to burn 1,000 warships turned their cannons toward the stars and unleashed fire unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. He was 7 years old, and he was the supreme commander of Earth's last fleet. No one planned for it to happen. The boy, Oren Calix, wasn't supposed to matter. He was the son of a diplomat, one of thousands aboard the refugee dreadnought Vigilant Dawn, as it fled the dying embers of the Sol system. Earth had been crushed under the boot of the Grail Dominion, its defences shattered, its leaders executed. The remnants of humanity scattered like ash in a storm. The Vigilant Dawn was humanity's last ark, carrying survivors, scientists, engineers, those who could rebuild if they ever found peace. They never did, because the Grail didn't conquer to rule, they conquered to erase, and they were coming. The fleet had no command structure left. The admirals were gone, most killed in the Battle of Neptune's grave. The command AI had been wiped by a viral strike. What remained were captains arguing over frequency bands, systems failing one by one, and morale crumbling under the weight of inevitable annihilation. It was during one of these bitter meetings, when voices rose and fists slammed against polished steel, that the boy wandered onto the bridge. No one noticed at first, until he spoke. "My mother said Earth would fight forever," Oren said quietly. His voice barely reached over the static, but it stopped the room. Dozens of officers turned. Some recognized him, some didn't. But what they all saw was a child with strange pale eyes, and in those eyes something old. "She said humans aren't good at giving up," he continued, "that we get louder when we're losing." A nervous chuckle ran through the silence. General Imari, the highest-ranking officer left, crouched beside him. "Oren, sweetheart, I know you're scared, but—" "I'm not scared," the boy said. "I'm angry." Oren's mother, Ambassador Calix, had been more than a diplomat. She was the one who negotiated the Orion ceasefire, held Earth's last fragile alliances together, and she died on the first day of the evacuation, when Grail hunters bombed the capital shuttle bay. What no one knew, what she never told anyone, was that Oren had been born different, not just in mind, but in mind link. Oren had an ultraneural sync rate of 98%, the highest ever recorded. It meant he could interface with warship AI systems intuitively, no training, no filters, no lag. He felt machines the way others felt hunger or love. His mother had kept it secret to protect him, but with her gone, and the Grail fleet closing in, there was nothing left to protect him from. Only the future. They gave him the throne as a symbolic gesture, a last desperate trick of morale, a way to unify command around something. Anything. But when he placed his hand on the throne's interface core, the fleet shuddered. The lights on the bridge pulsed in sync with his heartbeat. Across 100 ships, dead systems lit up. Cannons recalibrated, shields locked in, engines hummed with purpose. Oren blinked once and 5 layers of data poured into the command net. He didn't learn how to command, he simply did. The Grail fleet arrived in formation, sleek dreadships with star-piercing weapons, outnumbering the human fleet 4-1. They sent a single message: surrender and be extinguished in dignity. Oren tilted his head as the transmission ended. Around him, the crew stared at him, waiting, unsure what a child could say to such a force. He leaned forward. His voice was still small, but now it echoed with something deeper, something connected. "Tell them," he said, "that I've seen what dignity looks like." He paused. "It burns just like everything else." Then he raised his hand and gave the order, "Open fire." What followed was not a battle. It was a massacre, but not the one the Grail expected. The human fleet moved as one, faster, tighter, sharper than it ever had. Oren controlled everything, not like a strategist, but like a conductor guiding an orchestra of destruction. He rerouted entire power cores with a thought, overclocked fusion drives to burn through Grail formations, used debris fields as slingshot vectors. Every shot counted, every movement sang. He didn't just command the fleet, he was the fleet, and he was angry. The Grail tried to adapt. Their war AIs, known for their predatory logic, shifted tactics, cycling through thousands of countermeasures. It didn't matter. Because Oren didn't think like a computer, he thought like a human. He broke patterns, sacrificed ships for moves no AI would make, turned weakness into weapons. He overloaded reactor cores in dead husks and flung them into Grail cruisers. He let the Grail take a false flank, only to detonate a minefield behind them. Chaos wasn't an obstacle to him, it was home. And one by one the Grail ships began to fall. After 7 hours, silence. The last Grail dreadnought drifted, engines offline, crew evaporated, and the Vigilant Dawn, scarred, battered, burning at the edges, remained. Oren's small hands trembled. His lip bled from biting it. He had pushed past every biological limit. His neural link was frying his own synapses. A ship's warning AI whispered constantly at him, disconnect or suffer irreparable damage. But he didn't stop, not until the last enemy signal died. Only then did he slump in the command throne, eyes glassy, skin pale. His whisper barely reached the bridge. Is it over? General Amari, with tears on his cheeks, nodded. Yes, Commander, it's over. Oren was carried from the bridge unconscious. Doctors fought for days to stabilize him. His nervous system was damaged, his muscles strained from the strain of command. He hovered between life and something else. But he survived. And when he opened his eyes again, after 3 weeks of sleep, he didn't ask for medals. He asked if anyone else had died. Years later, historians would argue, was it ethical to let a child bear the weight of war? Was he a hero or a victim of desperation? Some called it child exploitation. Others said he saved humanity. But one thing was certain. Oren Calix had changed everything. When the surviving human fleets regrouped, they didn't crown admirals or elect governments. They asked Oren what came next. He didn't sit on a throne again. But he walked among the stars as the boy who remembered Earth and the commander who burned a fleet to save what was left of its soul. And every year, on the day of the Battle of the Last Light, the humans remember. They gather under the blackened sky of a small moon, light fires and recite the final order given by the youngest commander in galactic history. Let it burn, but let us live. And in the silence after, they whisper, he was 7.